Hi everyone, I'm Matt from TOTALmtg and welcome to this week's Deck Tech. So everyone, what have I got for you this week? I have a Pauper brew for you that was passed on to me through Twitter from Thraven Valiant, so thank you very much for that. I've called it Death by Defenders. It is like a red-green defender ramp kind of brew. It's really fun. I played it on Twitch this week and we got some very good wins, but it is only one ticket, but it actually costs like 0.8. So one ticket brew, you won't beat everyone with it, but you definitely get some fun wins with it. So let's take a look at the creatures. So our first creature is Tinderwall, the Ice Age Common. It's a 0/3 defender wall. It has some other abilities as well, because you can sack it for 0, and then you can add either 2 red to your mana pool, or you can pay 1 red and sack it, and 2 damage to target creature it's blocking. So it'll be good, you know, they're attacking him with, you know, a little 1 toughness or 2 toughness creature. Then you can block, sack it, and kill the creature in response as well. Very good, adaptable card. Obviously, it does help us towards some of our other cards, which helps us with dealing damage with defenders and tapping mana that with defenders as well. On to our next creature, we have Overgrown Battlement. This is a 1/2/0/4, very good stats, 0/4 defender this one. And this will tap for a green mana pool for each creature with defender that you control on the battlefield. So this helps us build towards our torch later on to do the fireball effect. Put it up there, tap for loads of mana, or maybe get one of our really big finishing creatures as well. We've got a 4 of Ulvenwald Captive. Now this starts off as a defender but can flip as well. It will flip into a werewolf, a big 4/6 Ulvenwald Abomination. Very nice card, and it's, you know, it's a nice finish as well. It's got good stats for Pauper being 4/6 and can tap for double colourless when it does flip as well. Its initial stats are only 1/2, so you may have to sacrifice it if you want, but I suggest not. Maybe try and hold on to it, you know, protect your life if you can with your other defenders, and then flip this later because you might need some big creatures to get through if you can't do your other win conditions. Axebane Guardian is, you know, a bit of an all-star for the deck. It costs 2 and a green, it's a 0/3 defender, and it axes,
Guys, I gotta tell you, that last take was even better than the first.
adds X mana to whatever you have in the amount of defenders that you have. So you tap it, you could have 5, it's going to add 5 mana, and in any combination of colour as well, which is very good in case you need that red later on as well for your fireball, or maybe something else as well, because the Vent Sentinel does tap and that needs red to do as well. So you've got Tinderwall that can sack for red in case you're stuck with those mountains if you haven't got them. You've got a couple of other ways to get that mana as well. Llanowar Sentinel, this is one of the creatures that hopefully you will just cascade into. You can play Llanowar Sentinel, where the ability with the defenders have is obviously making lots of mana. So this is a 2/3 elf, and when it comes into play, you get to pay 2, and if you do, you get to search for another one, put it straight on the battlefield, and it obviously goes on until you've got them all there. You know, sometimes you might need to play this when you need a blocker and you won't be able to do the cascade effect, but it's very good if you can and get those 4 creatures on. And sometimes you get a bit aggro of this if you can get the right amount of defenders on there to tap for mana and get these down early and put some pressure on and turn your defenders into like an aggro deck, which is what I've done once when I've done this. I've got these elves down and just beat down with the elves. It was so much fun. Just quickly going to have a look at the other card as well that does cascade, which is Self-Assembler. Not in the same sort of manner, but it does let you go and search for it. It doesn't go onto the battlefield, but what it will do is you can play it, and if you've got a lot of mana, you can search for it and maybe you play 2 on a drop. I've never managed to do 3 and get the 15 mana, but I have in one game, I will say, had all 4 Sentinels down and all 4 Self-Assemblers. We saw it on Twitch the other day when I was playing, and we just basically build up the defences. And then what we did with our next creature, which is Vent Sentinel, was get the blockers up. They couldn't get through the last bit of 2 damage. And then all we did at the end of the turn was just kept tapping this Vent Sentinel and doing damage equal to our defenders. And eventually we won the game because we could not find our fireball. Now, talking of the fireball, that torch is a very good card, but we also have a very nice creature that Pauper plays, which is Ulamog's Crusher. Now this does cost 8. It's an 8/8 though with Annihilator 2. it is an absolute game winner. And when you get it onto the field, you'll be like, yeah, what are you going to do now? I've got an 8-8. And then you're taking permanence as well when you get to attack. It has to attack each turn if able. So you're always going to have to go in there, you know, take down their creatures and take down their defences. But they're not, you know, they're going to have to find an answer for an 8-8. And Ulamog's Crusher is definitely a great win condition. So let's get on to the spells. Like I said, with our fireball effects, I'm going to pronounce this completely wrong. Chaos Vex, Torch, X and Red. What's good about this is good against the blue decks, because the interrupt spell with this, if they target, it's going to cost 2 more for them to cast. So they might think they leave just enough mana for that counter spell, but then they've got to cast an extra 2, so they won't be able to counter it. And then this will hit target creature or player for X damage. And we will be able to make a lot of damage with all our Axe Banes and other creatures on there that make mana. This is a second win con. You know, maybe the main win con, if you know, because getting the creature's going to be dealt with a lot earlier. This is obviously a bit harder to deal with because it has that little bit of evasion with the counter spells. But very, very nice card, and it's a real good addition. Evolution Charm is a bit... I am an R about this card, to be honest. It's normally the first card that I do sideboard out, but this was in the deck. You search your library for a basic land card. You get to choose one of these. Shuffle your library, then obviously return target card from a graveyard. So you might want to get back your Vent Sentinel. If they manage to get rid of your Ulamog's Crusher, you can get it back and play it again next turn. Very nice. Do that end of turn because it is instant speed. And then you can give a target creature flying into end of turn. So we can have a flying Ulamog Crusher. Who doesn't want to do that? So the last card in our main deck is a 4 of Incinerate. Stops the regeneration and adds 3 damage to target creature or player. We have that there as a 4 of. On to the land base. Land base is very simple. We've got 13 basic forests and 4 basic mountains. And then we have a 2 of the plant wielding Kalina Garden that makes you a lovely 0-1 plant. Nice little blocker. And then we have a 4 of Rugged Highlands. Gains 4 life from those 4 cards, but does come in tapped. But still, you know, taps on the red and the green, essential to have in the deck, definitely. Going on to the sideboard now. Let's have a little look at the sideboard. So we start off with a 3 of Fairy Macabre. It's a 2-2. It came, you know, Modern Masters Common was the one I picked up my ones from. This it's good against the decks that have Mnemonic, what's it called? Mnemonic Wall, Mold Drifter. There's that dirty combo with the Freed Enchantment. But we do have Natural State in there to deal with as well. But this can obviously, when they do it in response to trying to target those cards and build their loop and get back and forward, drawing all the cards in all the world, as blue does. You know I love blue, so I don't really mind. But I did play that on Twitch the other day, and I played against this, and I brought this in from the sideboard because you can exile 2 cards, obviously by discarding this card from your hand. So when they're targeting their Mnemonic Walls and their Mold Drifters and trying to bring everything back and do all their shenanigans, that's the type of deck this can come in with. And then you just make them, obviously, you can get rid of them from the graveyard and Exxon. Very, very nice card, adaptable for us. As well as Blastoderm that can come in for the control matchups because it can't be target of spells or ability. Also against, you know, red-black decks that have a lot of spot removal, Blastoderm can come in. It does have Fade in 3, so it is going to fade away, but it's a 5-5 for 4. We can get this down very early, get some early attacks in, and then build up the defences later to maybe tap the Sentinel to not do quite as much damage as we need to. 3 aerial volley there to pick off little flyers. You can, you know, spread the damage out as you want with that 3 damage. And the Electricity does the same sort of thing, but we can overload this. Very nice against the token decks, as long as they don't manage to buffer them up too quick. Or Slivers, if you can get in there early with Slivers, but the Slivers are very, very strong deck to play against. You know, we are a 1-ticket deck. It's 0.8 tickets. So there are going to be, you know, a few stronger decks, maybe a bit more consistent. But if you're looking for an entry level, you know, to go into Pauper, maybe on MTGO, and you haven't got a lot of dodge, this is definitely the deck for you. Get that 1 ticket for $1, and then you'll have a little bit of change out of it as well. The last card in the sideboard is Natural State. Natural State, destroy target artifact enchantment covered in mana cost of 3 or less. Good against the blue card that I played the other day. You can get rid of the 3, but they can obviously do it in response there. But if you're playing decks that play the cartouches, everything like that, you know, building up, doing a bit of, you know, a bit of a Shrammy sort of deck that still be obviously not Shram itself, but they've been doing it on other creatures, building up all the enchantments, and then just, you know, this is a good card to bring in. shrink those creatures down and then hopefully last out. Stop the defences with your defenders if you can, and then just tap the vent or do your big fireball and win the game from there. We've got a lot of creatures in this deck that will hold off forces of a lot of creatures attacking you, because we've got some nice stats there. There's some of the creatures with the defenders that obviously don't, like the Univore that's a 1-2. But we've got 0-3s, 0-4s, 2-4s, stuff like that that will hold back a lot of creatures. And then we've got ones that can come in that are a lot bigger, like the Ulamog's Crusher, that will take down, you know, that can trade off with your Gurmag Anglers and everything like that. That, you know, that's a big creature. And we may be able to get it down as quick as a Gurmag Angler with our ramp that we have. Anyway guys, that is this week's deck tech. I really hope you like this Pauper brew. I am going to say now, if you could do a really big favour and hit that like button, but even more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you liked all this, what you see today, and hit that bell button. YouTube said they haven't been pushing them to the subs all the time, so that's really annoying. So I know a lot of you might have been missing some of the videos. So please make sure, if you do anything, hit the bell. It really, really does help. Also, if you've got any brews that are 5 tickets or under, or you know, MTGO 5 tickets, or $5 and under, link them in the comments below, because I've got a new series coming out very soon. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's going to be a very fun series. But I need everyone's sort of decks like that, and maybe you get to see one of yours on a video. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you on the next video.